There. My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today's topic is Digestion Question. Recently, I've had a few videos surrendered to source, and I'll allow it, that were like 1 or 2 seconds longer than 15 minutes. And so there are some exclusive videos that are only available on YouTube because I wasn't able to publish them here. So you can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. The digestion question, when we talk about these words, the mind tends to quickly go to the gut and think about digesting food. We tend to think of food when we think of digestion. And it's a good place to start because over 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So gut health becomes really important. And one of the conversations we tend to have in our head is around what we're eating. We tend to adopt negativistic thoughts, guilt, shame, blame, negativistic feelings in relationship to those negative thoughts, because feelings are a result of our thoughts, regarding anything we eat that isn't healthy. I've found over time the healthiest way for me to eat is to allow and give a certain level of permission to my inner child having that pizza, having that ice cream, whatever your thing is that's not healthy, to fold that in on occasion, to allow this monthly respite where you get to have a treat rather than having it be a regular part of the diet. If I eat pizza and ice cream all the time, it's really not special for me to get pizza and ice cream. Who cares? I eat that all the time. I also am not getting the vitamins, minerals, nutrients that my cells need for optimal health. So if I eat predominantly healthy and then allow or permit once a week or once a month or whatever that is for my rhythm and flow, other things in my diet, then I wind up with a really varied diet, which is more likely to appease my inner child and also give me the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that I need for my cellular health and for my digestive health. Because again, the largest portion of our immune system is in the gut. It's in our stomach. So tending to that beautiful aspect of our being is a vital aspect of, I would say, of overall health. Making sure I'm getting enough water, enough air, that I'm also giving those cells greater fluidity, decreasing viscosity in the body, and greater air and oxygenation, cellular oxygenation. So just free breath. Wonderful free breath. My teacher, Lightwalker, taught me, like, that's great advice. Pranayama, breath work, to advise others to breathe. It's free. It's always available. No one ever has to pay you for it. And if they'll do it, most two-leggeds aren't breathing. They're holding their breath, especially in moments of stress. We tend to adopt a lot of stress. It's one of the number one killers. So just breathing, drinking some water every day. We can set calendar reminders if we need to, use sticky notes, whatever, right on our mirror and lipstick, however you want to do that. And then paying attention to our overall digestive question, which is the digestion question is, what am I choosing to digest? And if I'm going to choose a lifetime in which I'm just not going to eat healthy, I'm just going to eat fast food fundamentally lacks nutrients. I mean, it depends. There are some like organic salad and go places, but most fast food places, even the vegetables you get, not only are they not organic, they're stripped of all nutrients. You might as well be just sucking air. In addition, it's giving you often a lot of things that don't serve your overall system. So if you're going to eat a diet like that, then my recommendation is to, if you don't choose to have gut health, and if you've answered the digestion question with, I'm not going to change this behavior, I'm going to eat this way, it's convenient, which is a story. I mean, it's actually very convenient for me to go to the grocery store once a week and prep food and then heat that food. I also don't mind leftovers, but then I would recommend not having shame, guilt, blame. Just decide you're not doing physical health in this lifetime, and then just let that go, and then just don't be healthy. Because the negative emotion compounded with the dietary choices, it's like, stabbing yourself in the foot and then getting a gun and shooting yourself in the foot. You might as well just have the one thing that isn't working for you of deciding and making a definitive decision. I'm not going to do that this lifetime, rather than compounding that with a lot of negative emotion. The digestion question, of course, I'm always talking about something that's like what it sounds like, but I always want to talk about it from the angle of what it doesn't sound like. The digestion question that I would like myself to ask myself more often, and I do ask myself this compared to the average bear relatively frequently, but not enough even in my book, is what am I allowing my eyes to digest? We are heavily commodified in the modern age. We're like batteries. We become a commodity, a source, because our attention equals our shopping, equals our purchases, equals, profit for corporations. And we are in a capitalistic, corporate-driven society. So there are all these algorithms and all of these beings that are monitoring what you click on, how long you remain on it, so that you can be marketed to go to that, they give you that information. Oh, if you have a tendency to get on social media and click on your ex's page, okay, they're going to feed you your ex's page when you're on social media so that they can throw in more ads so that they can have your attention longer. And we know this isn't, you can watch shows about what social media is doing. I want to say, though, that it is important to ask ourselves a question. What have I decided to allow my consciousness to digest? Because we become what we place our attention on. And the tricky challenge of this, so just some ownership on my end. And historically, I had some relationships that were not healthy. It's that empath narcissist. The empath constantly wants to give, constantly wants to serve. I'm for many lifetimes, well-developed psychic, very empathic, very sensitive. HSP, highly sensitive person, INFJ, 2% of the population. We tend to want to help and aid. And that matrix it actually is a yin and yang perfect match coin for the empath to be with a narcissist, because the narcissist wants nonstop attention. They're like, me, I only ever think of myself. And the empath is like, all I want to do is think of others. I barely ever think of myself. And it took me a minute to realize that I was attracting to me people that were, I have a tremendous amount of love and attention to give, and I have a lot of places I desire to give it. But people that were like a black void that I could just endlessly pour love into, and they really foundationally, a narcissist has low self-esteem. When we have healthy self-esteem, we don't need to feel like we're superior to everyone around us. That's low self-esteem with the volume turned to 100 instead of 0. So instead of being a lowly worm, you overcompensate for how worthless you feel by acting like you are the sun. So one of the things I realized is I started to get my attention on that. I was like, I started learning about narcissists, and I was like, I have this history of attracting narcissists, and that is not for me. I give my love freely. I give it without expectation of return. If you didn't give something freely, you didn't actually give it. If you're expecting anything in return, then it's not actually something that's given. It's in a way a conscious or unconscious manipulation. I do give it freely, but I had this awareness of like, I want to be in partnership with somebody that equally is a service-themed soul and is devoted to loving and giving. And I even had, through an Akashic Records reading, they pointed to the fact that my attention being on that caused a self-fulfilling prophecy, because what we think about and feel about, we bring about. So I kept thinking about like, what is it with these narcissistic males? What is the deal? Why is everyone so self-absorbed? I don't know what is going on in the world. There should be more people like me that are also thinking of service and nonprofits and how to give back to the world and how their life can make a difference. And I would find it in friendship, but I often would not find that in a lover. And the Akashic Record said this one has her attention squarely rooted and placed on this, and it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy. This one has awareness that there are men that are not like that are spiritual, but her attention tends to be on how this particular slice of humanity operates in this way. And then she magnetizes more of same, because what we put our attention on in our consciousness, in the garden of our mind, that is going to be the fruit-bearing trees that will bloom and bear fruit for us. So if we put our attention on that which doesn't work and that which doesn't serve, then the universe goes, okay, she would like more of what doesn't work and what doesn't serve. Order up, And so then we go like, why is life like this? And we have a tendency to forget the magnitude of our free will choice. What a gift. And the magnitude of our attention. School of Metaphysics taught me that your attention is your most precious commodity. And I still agree with that teaching. It's like you literally can place your attention on devoted spiritual information. You can place your attention on service. You can place your attention on love. You can place your attention on practicing unconditionally loving, being unconditionally loving. What does it mean for me to give and not get? What does it mean for me to completely give, to surrender into giving and to sharing more love in the web because it's what I am? You can put your attention also on being a thief or being a murderer. Like clearly there are people that choose that path of attention, and that has its own result in the shaking of the web. You have free will choice. I have free will choice. And the question I'm always asking myself is, what am I allowing my consciousness to digest? I'm, like I said, a deeply sensitive person. So I don't tend to like a lot of violence or horror or watching people get hurt, or like that doesn't give me pleasure. I'm too empathic. I can feel, I'm like, oh, I can feel what that would feel like. And I don't want them to have to go through that. That sweet soul, I'm sorry that they're suffering. When you've seen much suffering in the world, it's not pleasant when you truly consider what that feels like and you yourself have felt it, to watch others receive that, because we're all one. It's all just atoms, folks. And those atoms are emptiness. So there's just a sea of emptiness down here. And I don't want any part of the emptiness to suffer. I have to sometimes surrender to the fact that that's sometimes the evolutionary path karmically for a given being's evolution, and can be a gift even to myself. My own suffering is a gift. It helps to evolve me. But ultimately, I am using my free will choice to put my attention and allow my consciousness to digest whatever I've put in front of my attention. So what are my peepers peeping at? What have I placed my eyes upon to absorb and digest and to become the content of my character and the content of my consciousness? I don't want to spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of lifetimes not evolving because I don't take the time to check in. And there are many spiritual traditions. You can see it in different religious traditions, Judaism, Christianity, paganism. There are annual moments in which an individual will do a check-in in the Muslim faith tradition, where you might check in for a day or a week or a month. And you check in and go, okay, like, who have I been? Who am I going to be? And I think that's so beautiful. I've always loved, anytime I've read that in any tradition, I'm like, yeah, this is a really cool practice. But the question is can we fold that in more often? Because a lot of two-leggeds in the modern age are not using their free will choice. They're just giving their attention. I watch myself do it. I get on Instagram and I'm just like, I have all these animal things that I follow, animal best friends. Like there's just, and I will go down an animal best friend wormhole and say like, oh my God, that's so cute. That's so cute. That's so cute. And there goes an hour of my attention. And did I want to journal or exercise or spend quality time with Ashtar and Salusa, my beloved four-leggeds, and tell them how luxurious their fur is and how shiny their eyes are? How do I want to spend this life? Did I want to be painting, perhaps, or talking to a beloved family member or divine friend? I've got many beautiful, equally yoked divine friends. I'm well blessed in that department. Would I rather have been nurturing a relationship with an actual human than just kind of staring at pictures? I can tell you sometimes I just want to stare at the pictures. Sometimes I'm receiving a video of information that teaches me something or that offers spiritual growth and evolution or serves me in some way. So it's not that I never want to be on technology or watch a TV show or play a video game or use social media. The digestion question is, how often do I want to digest that? Is it time for me to look at how much time I spend on social media? Is it time for me to consider if that's a life worth living and how I want to spend my life? I would much rather have my back against a tree and be communing with this beautiful nature that we have than be on my phone every time. Every time that's true. So here's a digestion question. What are you digesting in life? And is that what you seek to grow in the garden of your body and mind? Again, you can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there, and there are exclusive videos there for you as well. Blessed be.